Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take that stack of sources you send our way, the articles, the reporting, and really just pull out the core insights. And today we are analyzing an athlete who is, arguably the most dominant of the last few decades, Serena Williams.
Right. It's almost hard to know where to begin.
Exactly. The raw stats are just staggering. 23 Grand Slam singles titles, 4 Olympic golds. She's the undisputed Geo. It's so easy to just focus on the wins.
On the sheer power, yeah. But the articles you send us, they show something much more complex is going on.
That's our mission today. We're not just here to celebrate her career. We want to unpack her post-tennis life, which, and this is key, she calls an evolution, not a retirement. We want to understand what's really driving that.
And that word evolution is everything. It's the whole story. Think about it. When you commit your entire life for 2 decades to just one thing, to being the absolute best stepping away isn't simple.
It leaves a huge hole.
A massive structural vacuum. And her transition now, balancing motherhood, building this huge business empire, and just finding her identity as Serena the person.
Yeah.
It's incredibly complex. We have to look past the trophies to really get it.
Okay, let's start right there then, with the personal side of it. The sources talk about this profound void left by the competition. What does that loss of structure actually feel like for a champion?
You have to imagine the intensity. For 20 years, every single moment of her day was dictated by one goal.
For diet, training, travel.
Everything.
Everything. It was all in service of being a champion. She was an athletic warrior. That kind of focus, it's what makes it dope, but it leaves almost no room to just be a person. That structure becomes your identity.
So when the structure is gone.
The identity is challenged, exactly. And the sources really hit on this. She's now 44, a mother of 2 young daughters, and that whole framework is gone. So the focus has to shift from winning the next match to, discovering who Serena is now. She has to build a whole new life from scratch. And part of that new framework, it seems, is taking back control of her own body, which for an athlete must be so tied to their identity.
Mm-hmm.
The articles highlight she recently lost over 30 pounds and was open about using a weight loss drug to help.
That's such a fascinating move. It really highlights the insane scrutiny placed on the female body, right? Even for an icon whose power was her brand. For her, after years of criticism about her physique, this is about control.
She's reclaiming her own physical story.
100%. She's shedding the physical armor she needed for tennis and setting a new normal on her own terms, free from the Grand Slam schedule. It's a powerful way of saying, this body is mine now, for my life, not just for the baseline.
That theme of control,
Yeah.
of agency, connects right into the dilemma she talked about when she stepped away.
Hmm.
And this is where it gets really interesting for everyone.
Yeah.
In that big 2022 Vogue essay, she laid out the conflict. Something's got to give. She just said it plainly. The choice to step away for a second child isn't fair.
And it resonated because it's so universal. She didn't hold back at all. She said, and I think this is a direct quote, "If I were a guy, I wouldn't be writing this because I'd be out there playing and winning while my wife was doing the physical labor of expanding our family."
Wow. Just straight up.
It's the harsh reality of the biological clock versus peak athletic performance.
And to make it crystal clear, she brought up Tom Brady.
Mhm.
The quarterback, 45, retires, then boom, 40 days later he's back.
A perfect comparison.
She basically said, maybe I'd be more of a Tom Brady if she had that same freedom. If the physical burden of growing the family wasn't entirely on her.
And that's the thing. Men in sports often have that luxury of playing into their 40s while their families grow at the same time. Their physical performance isn't compromised by pregnancy and recovery. For women in elite sports, it's often an impossible choice.
And this harsh reality, as the sources call it, it goes way beyond the world of elite sports, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Professor Sherry Randolph makes the point that society just expects women to do it all, and so working mothers everywhere feel worn out and overworked. Attorney Lisa Banks said it even more bluntly. In elite fields, you just can't have both, not at the same time and the same level.
The physical toll is just non-negotiable.
Right. And we've seen this play out over and over. Look at the U.S. sprinters, Allison Felix and Alicia Montano.
Oh, yeah. They had to fight Nike over contracts that cut their pay for being pregnant. They were literally penalized for it.
And then there's Sonia Richards-Ross, the Olympian. She retired before starting a family because she called being an athlete the most selfish job you can have. The focus has to be absolute.
So even for someone as powerful as Serena Williams, she couldn't escape that fundamental reality. We all remember her winning the 2017 Australian Open while 2 months pregnant, which is just superhuman.
It is. But even that feat couldn't change the ultimate trade-off. She had to be vulnerable and say, this isn't what I want, but it's what I have to do for my family.
The complexity of that unfair choice.
Mm.
It really makes you appreciate the foundation she built. Before the mogul, she had to be the master of the court. So let's look at how she actually changed the game.
It's such a critical part of the story. Her athleticism was off the charts, but the sources break down how her tactical brain is what really cemented her GOAT status. She pioneered this aggressive all-court style that you just didn't see in the women's game.
So how'd she do it? The sources you sent break it down into 5 key components that made her game so lethal.
Yeah, this part is fascinating. Her strength just let her do things nobody else could. Let's start with what the sources call her old-school forehand. In an era of, wild spin-heavy shots, hers was just classic. Stately, stable, hit with incredible weight and depth, always cross-court. It was just pure penetrating power. Considered the best in the game.
And then she paired that classic forehand with something totally different. Her new school backhand.
Exactly. And this is where the genius comes in. She'd hit her backhand from an open stance with her shoulders parallel to the net.
Which saves footwork, right?
A ton of footwork. And crucially, it let her go inside out with it, like a pole hitter in baseball. So you've got this heavy cross-court forehand and this unexpected inside-out backhand. The experts said it sent cross signals to her opponents. They were always off balance.
That 1-2 punch must have been completely overwhelming.
It was. But maybe the biggest game changer of all was the third component, her serve as a weapon. And this wasn't just about speed, it was about attitude.
She changed how people thought about the serve.
She totally did. Before her, a lot of players were just trying not to double fault on their second serve. Serena came in and tried to win the point outright, even on her second serve. It went from a defensive shot to a full-on attack.
And when you can hold serve that easily, it puts all the pressure on your opponent.
All of it. Then you've got the fourth piece, which is more intangible. She never gives up. That refusal to lose. And it's not just confidence. The sources say it's a practice talent, something she honed over years. Her opponents knew she was always lurking, always ready to pounce. She was never out of a match until the final point was scored.
And finally, number 5. With all that power, she also had her soft hands.
Yes, the finesse. Amazing racket control, which gave her a terrific volley. She didn't always need it, but she had this beautiful drop shot in her back pocket. It was just the complete toolkit.
And her impact, it went so far beyond just her technique. I mean, the passion on the court, the joy, the anger, the fist pumps, she made it okay to show emotion.
She really did.
And the fashion,
Yeah.
the catsuit, the bright colors. She celebrated her power and her femininity at the same time.
She and Venus completely changed the idea of what a champion could look like and act like, and they helped drive that final push for equal pay after 2007. They're credited with a huge spike in the number of black women playing tennis. She made the sport look more like the world.
So when you add all that up, the tactical mind, the relentless will, the execution under pressure, you can see how that becomes the foundation for her next chapter. That same drive is now fueling a massive business empire. It's a huge lesson in transferable skills.
It's a remarkably seamless transition, really. The mindset is identical. You're just investing in companies with the same strategic vision you used for your own training.
So let's start with her main engine, Serena Ventures, which she founded back in 2017. What's the mission there?
The mission is deeply personal. It's about supporting founders from underrepresented groups. She saw that the VC world often overlooks women and black founders, and she decided to use her capital to fix that. It's an intentional move to change the face of entrepreneurship.
And it's not just talk. She raised an inaugural fund of $111 million in 2022. And get this, 79% of their portfolio companies are led by underrepresented founders. 54% women, 47% black.
Those numbers are incredible. They show she's doing exactly what she set out to do. And it's working. She estimates 14 of those brands are already unicorns. It proves that investing in diversity is just good business.
Her investment eye seems incredibly sharp, too, across all kinds of industries. Can you give us a few examples?
Sure, take Masterclass. She was a super early supporter, found them when they were just a tiny team in a garage in San Francisco. It shows she backs founders focused on education and self-improvement, which makes perfect sense for an athlete.
And then there are her investments in wellness and fitness, which feel like a natural fit.
Absolutely. She's an investor and ambassador for Tonal, that AI-powered home gym. She invested in Noom back in 2019, saying everyone deserves easy access to a healthier life. These aren't random. She's scaling her own expertise in elite performance for the rest of us.
And then in the fintech space, there's an investment that ties right back to her mission of inclusion. Isusu.
That's a perfect one. It helps people who are credit invisible, over 107,000 of them, build credit scores just by reporting their rent payments.
Which is a huge barrier for so many people.
It's a fundamental barrier. So by investing there, she's using capital to create real pathways to financial security.
And beyond her VC fund, she's also building her own brands from the ground up.
She is. She launched Will Perform, a pain relief and performance care brand, in late 2022. And then just this year, Win Beauty, which is a makeup line.
Wake up, you can move in.
Exactly. And it's perfected for deeper skin tones. And this is key. A portion of the profits goes to maternal care organizations.
So it connects everything, the athlete, the entrepreneur, and the mother who had to make that unfair choice we talked about earlier.
It ties every single thread of her story together.
And we haven't even mentioned 926 Productions, her multimedia company, which is focused on female and diverse voices, or her sports ownership.
Right. A minority stake in the Miami Dolphins with Venus back in '09. They were the first Black Americans to hold an NFL ownership stake. And now she co-owns the Los Angeles Golf Club. She went from being the asset to owning the league.
And finally, there's the philanthropy that grounds it all back home in Compton. The Attuned Price Resource Center, honoring her late sister. It supports victims of senseless violence.
It's a testament to her commitment to community. It shows that even as her empire goes global, her roots and her personal history are still right at the center of it all. The athlete's discipline is now the philanthropist's focus.
So to just recap this incredible evolution, she took a career that earned her $95 million in prize money and turned it into an estimated net worth of $340 million. She successfully translated that hyper-competitive drive and tactical innovation into, well, business leadership.
And her journey, I think, reinforces a truth for all of us, that true excellence isn't some endpoint you reach. It's a continuous, deliberate evolution. She's constantly redefining what Black power and personal fulfillment can look like as a goatee, a mother, and a mogul.
Her career was all about singular focus, being 2 feet in or 2 feet out. If that relentless focus was the key to conquering tennis, what new complex discipline is required now to master this diversified identity she's building across VC? Her own brands, motherhood, and social change. That's the modern question of mastery, something for you to think about as you consider your own next evolution.